Alright, so today we are doing a tier list of all roller coasters in Ohio. So the Cedar Point and Kings Island parks. We got all the major rides, we got all the coasters, and we will be putting them in this tier list. Before we start the tier list, these are the tiers. The very best being the very best. Amazing being top tier coasters. Decent being slightly above average. Underwhelming being slightly below average. Doo-doo being not very good to worst rides across both parks. And then haven't ridden is rides I haven't been on. Okay, so first coaster, Diamondback. I love this ride. I'm gonna put it in amazing. The reason why is because the airtime is probably the best at Kings Island, and it is a little rough, but overall, it ain't that bad. People also they underhype it because it is a great ride. Next up, Mystic Timbers. There are going to be people that put it in the very best. I'm putting it in decent. This might come as a surprise, but I think the ride is very overrated. People have it in their top 15 overall. Like, that's insane. I don't even know if it's in my top 10, but I might be disrespecting it a little bit. But I think the airtime is very good. I think the pops of floater are amazing. The ride is very smooth, so I can't complain about that. In Vertigo, I'm putting it in last. It's not good. It headbangs way too much. The headbanging is insane. And I do think that the ride is intense, and I think the drops are kind of cool. But the headbang, actually, I'm gonna put it underwhelming. I'm gonna put it underwhelming. I think that it does have some decent qualities, but overall, the headbanging is awful. Very bad. Next up, Adventure Express. I'm also gonna put it in underwhelming. I think that Adventure Express is the best mine train out of the two. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna put Cedar Creek Mine Ride in doo-doo. I'm gonna put it there. I think it is a step below Adventure Express, especially since all of the upgrades. But Cedar Creek Mine Ride is a solid family ride as well. It is very rough. It is janky. But Adventure Express is just like a little bit better in every way. But overall, both great family rides. Banshee, I'm gonna put it in decent as well. I'm gonna put it in decent as well. I think that the first drop is amazing. All the inversions are super intense. I do like the inline twist at the end. I think it's very unique for an invert. But it does have a bit of a rattle, which does make it kind of annoying. So I'm gonna put it and keep it in decent. Corkscrew, I'm gonna put it at the bottom. And also, I should have said this at the start, but I will be going in like actual order of like left to right in the categories of which one is the best. So Corkscrew is probably gonna be on the very right. Blue Streak. I think that the ride is gonna go in the bottom as well. I think the ride is very rough. I think the airtime is kind of solid, but it's just so rough. For the one Woody at Cedar Point, I was kind of hoping that it would be a little bit better, but it just isn't, and it is rough. I think what they did to Racer, they should do to Blue Streak, because I think that would legitimately make it like a top half coaster in the park. I think it would be better than Magnum if it was smooth, because I'm not a big fan of Magnum, but I think it would be better than Magnum. Next up, Gemini. I'm gonna put it top of underwhelming. Since Gemini is 50 years old, I do think that it's kind of rough, but the airtime is pretty good. I do love the high-fiving, even though they tell you to not do it anymore, but nobody listens to that. It is kind of funny. But I do think it's a great ride. Raptor, yeah, I'm gonna put it in decent. I'm gonna put it I'm gonna put it above Banshee. I think the zero-G roll is better. I think both rides are in similar intensity. I think Raptor is the smoother ride, to be completely honest. I think the first drop's pretty good, but overall, I think it is a great ride, and it's top 10 for sure in the state. But Rougarou, I'm gonna put it right there. I'm gonna put it in underwhelming. And then I would actually rather go on Adventure Express. I think Rougarou is actually like when you think of mid across all the parks, I think Rougarou is exactly in the middle. So that's why I'm gonna put it right there. Okay, Valraven, I'm gonna put it bottom of decent. I think it is for sure better than everything at Underwhelming. On the first drop is probably the best part of any of these rides so far, other than Diamondback's first drop. But I do think that I don't think the ride is too short. I like the zero-G roll. I like the second drop. And also, I don't hate the best restraints. People overhype those for being bad, even though they're not that bad. They do take away from the airtime a little bit, but it prevents headbanging. Twister is going to be our first and haven't ridden. Yeah, I just haven't ridden it. Same with Top Thrill Dragster. I have not ridden the original, and I have not ridden the new one. I went to Cedar Point on the day that they closed Top Thrill 2 for the extended period of time, so have not been on it. Millennium Forest is going to also go in amazing. People that say Millennium Forest lists are kind of just stupid, but I do think the first drop is amazing. The sense of speed is the best sense of speed out of all these rides, easily. I think the hills do have a little bit of floater. I do like the ejector hill. The ejector hill is cool. But the overbanks do kind of get repetitive, but they are intense, so I don't mind them. Gatekeeper. I'm going to put it, right there. I'm going to put it in decent right behind Mystic Timbers. I think it's the best looper in the park, even over Raptor. That may be controversial, but the first drop's amazing. The zero-G roll is also amazing. The best restraints do come down a little harder than the Valravens, so that's kind of a problem. But also, Mystic Timbers does have more airtime and just has the lap bars, so... But... yeah, I'm gonna put it right there. Okay. Iron Dragon, I'm gonna put right behind Rougarou. I think that it's just a family ride. It's kind of it. And onto another family ride, Backlot Stunt Coaster. I'm gonna put it right above Iron Dragon, just because the theming is better and the launch is better than anything on Iron Dragon. So that is that. Onto another premier launch coaster. We got Flight of Fear. Where am I gonna put this? I am definitely gonna put it above Rougarou. I'm gonna put it right behind Gemini. I think the launch is nice. I think the launch is really cool. I think that the ride is semi-intense, but the mid-course completely stops you every time, which kind of sucks. When you completely stop on the mid-course brake run, I think it's kind of funny to hear everybody scream because they think the ride broke down, but then you just go into the second half. But I really like the corkscrew at the end, and not being able to see where you are is also cool, so I'm gonna put it right there. Orion, I'm gonna be the first to say that it's in the very best. The first drop is amazing. And also, I feel like people harp on it for not being like the tallest, the fastest, or the longest. And also, I think people also say that the layout is not very good, even though the layout is very good. There's some spots that, yeah, could be better, but the sense of speed is second to only Millennium Force. The first drop is probably the best first drop out of everything at Kings Island. The wave turn being sideways up that high is really cool. I don't even care that it doesn't give any airtime. Like, just being like completely tilted 90 degrees is super cool. The speed hill is really good. The airtime hill, even though it has a trim, hits most of the time. And that little final dip before the brake run is also really good. So, onto Magnum XL200. I'm gonna be the first one to say that I would rather go on Gemini 100%. I'm gonna put it right there, right behind Gemini. I think that the ride is just way too rough. I think even though Gemini is like 20 years older, I think it's smoother and better. I think the turnaround is god-awful, and the airtime hills are just not it for me. Like, final airtime hills are just triangles, so, people are like, man, yeah, but that gives the best airtime, but, like, it hurts, and, like, I don't really want that, so. Next, the Beast. The Beast is better than Gatekeeper. I think the Beast is also kind of overrated because it has no airtime or none of that, but going through the trees is amazing. So, yeah, going through the trees is really cool. The final helix, like the double helix at the end, going through the tunnels, is insane. Absolutely insane, because the entire train is just like going back and forth. You feel like you're gonna hit your head on every pole that passes by. It's insane. But onto the last big scale Woody, and I'm going to put it top of underwhelming. I don't think it's better than Valraven. I definitely think it's better than Gemini. I think especially since after they retracked both sides, I think it's just a better Blue Streak. The airtime is really good. The turnaround is scenic because you can look over Windseeker and all the rides over there. And also just going up the lift hill and seeing Orion right there is really cool. But the only harp I have against it is that the final brake run, it's not rough, but you just bounce, which is really weird. But other than that, it's really cool. Next up, Steel Vengeance. I'm gonna be the first one to tell you. Top, very top. The ride speaks for itself. 200-foot drop, 90-degree angle, insane. Still not the best first drop out of all the rides here, but insane nonetheless. People do kind of overhype the Outer Bank Hill, because I think the top hat that comes right before it is probably the best element on the ride, but it's still insane. All the inversions are just so smooth or snappy. Like the first 0G roll is amazing. The stall is amazing. The other two 0G rolls, you don't even know they're coming, so you just slowly go through them. But all the bigger elements have all the sustained airtime in the first half, and then the second half are just all small hills and turns where you have no idea where you're going through the structure, and it's just perfect if you love airtime, to be honest. And the ride, there's nothing much you can say about it other than that if you love airtime, this is the best ride in the world. The second suspended coaster being the Bat. It is definitely better than Iron Dragon. I like it much better than Iron Dragon. I like it better than Rougarou. I'm just trying to find where I can place it. I think right here is probably a good spot. I think it's probably better than Magnum. I think Gemini and Racer is where I cut it off. When you think of underwhelming, I think that probably Magnum, Rougarou, and Bat probably sum it up perfectly for me, because the Bat is a good ride, but it just ends way too short. So I think having all of those three in that order is perfect. But I think the snappiness from turn to turn is amazing. It's definitely very intense, but it's an old era. There is some headbanging to it. It is intense, it is snappy, but it is very short. All right, everybody's favorite, Woodstock Express. Put it up in very best. Put it up in very best. You know. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, all you Woodstock Express lovers out there, but this is definitely below Corkscrew. I would rather ride Woodstock Express just because it is a smooth. I'm just realizing they don't have the other Woodstock Express, but that's okay. But this is the better one. But it is smooth. It is a solid Woody. It is debatably better than Blue Streak on some days because Blue Streak is that rough. But Corkscrew is even more rough, and the Corkscrews are just that awful that literally anything is probably better than Corkscrew at this point. Woodstock Express, at least you're not last. Last up, Maverick. It is the second best ride out of all the ones here. And this is the ride with the best first drop in the park. And I think both of these rides are my top 3, these two. So they're both very close, but Maverick is slightly worse. First drop is really good. The snaps are snappy. I think that the hills are amazing. They have so much airtime, and they're like, you go up and you come back down just as fast. But people say that the zero-G rolls aren't that fun, but I do think it's kind of a little bit of a break. I'm like, who doesn't like a good zero-G roll? Like, zero-G rolls are great. The launch is insane. The trim obviously hinders it, but the launch into the snap right after is insane. And then the single dives are also very insane. Just that whippy, that fast. It's honestly a near perfect ride. This is the final tier list. We got Steel Vengeance, Maverick, Orion in the very best, Diamondback and Millennium Force in amazing, Mystic Timbers, the Beast, Gatekeeper, Raptor, Banshee, and Valraven in decent, the Racer, Gemini, the Bat, Magnum, Flight of Fear, Adventure Express, Rougarou, Backlot Suncoaster, Iron Dragon, and Invertigo. And the final 4, which nobody really likes, is Blue Streak, Cedar Creek Mine Ride, Woodstock Express, and Corkscrew, and then Wicked Twister and Top Thrill Dragster, which I haven't been on. But if I had to rank the original, I would probably say either amazing or very best. And Top Thrill 2, I'd probably slide right behind Millennium Force when I do get to ride it. Comment down below what you would change. I already know a ton of you are going to want me to move Mystic Timbers up, but I will not. Good Woody, but it ain't as good as Diamondback or Millennium Force. And comment anything down below that you want me to do. And that's the tier list.